I am trying to make an actual TV show.
It's so hard to find a funny show that isn't filthy. I watch them, but I don't want to.
Let's do this.
Fire, like lots of fire.
So dedicated.
So cool. Where's it go from there, you know?
Oh, have I got your attention now?
This is bigger than you can handle.
You got any plans for tonight?
Well, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
Cool? Absolutely.
Please welcome first our moderator, the amazing Jeff Conway from Forbes. You can't even hear me, can you? Oh, here we go. He was wearing amazing plaid pants yesterday, so I think that kind of inspired my outfit. Jeff, welcome. And of course, the incomparable Jane Seymour.
Hello, does this work? Yes, it does.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right, testing, better? No? No. I'm loud. So hi guys, welcome. How did you enjoy Harry Wild? So excited. Season 3, congratulations.
Thank you.
So, thank you very much.
Testing, yay. Okay, so you are the star, you are the executive producer. This is season 3. How has the evolution of the series been for you, Jane?
Unbelievable. I was offered it, and I read the first script, and I didn't even read the first script. I just met the
Dave Logan, who did it. We chatted in London over a glass of wine, which ended up being a bottle of wine. So we decided that not only would I play Harry, but she would not smoke. She just drank wine. It has evolved from there in that they then brought in the incredible Jo Spain, who is sort of number 1 or number 2 best crime novelist in Ireland and England. She's just come up with her 14th book, I think. And she's considered one of the greatest plotters. And the two of them together with me and with the whole gang, I'm thrilled because this thing is just going up and up and up. It just gets better by the minute.
Well, your team sent me a bunch of the screeners, so I got to watch everything up to season 3 now, and I loved it.
Wow, thank you.
My favorite thing, I think you all would agree, is I love a good murder mystery, but it's so nice to get one with some levity and have some fun with it, because it can be a pretty tough thing when it's not that way, and I love that we get to have a little bit of fun with it. Do you enjoy that too?
Oh, I do very much. I love playing comedy. It's like my favorite thing. So this ticks all boxes for me. It's comedic, it's intelligent. I never know who did it. Even when I know it, I keep forgetting. It's so beautifully woven. The characters are very real, and the human condition is right there. You care about Fergus, you care about Harry. They have this extraordinary relationship. I mean, they adore each other and help one another, but they could not be more different if they tried. And it's magical to see that woven in to the action as it happens as well. And, at my age, to have my own series and be an action figure who gets to be comedic and irreverent, it's so much fun.
So what would you say is your favorite thing about Harry on Harry Wild?
Well, it's really hard because, first of all, I love the character of Harry. And I love how it's written. But it would not be Harry without Rohan, Ned, who plays Fergus. He's just magical to work with. And the other thing I love is that we're doing it in Dublin, and there are all these extraordinary actors there, and sets and, scenarios and things we can do there that we've never seen before. Originally, it was supposed to take place in Cambridge, but because I'm a non-resident English person, I can only spend X number of nights in England. So at one point, we were going to do part of it in Cambridge and the rest of it in Dublin. And then we looked around and we said, wait a minute, Trinity College, Dublin, what's wrong with that? So I love working in Ireland. It's an amazing place.
And you do have an amazing cast, including I saw at the end as well, Samantha Mumba. So
Yes.
great. I mean, pop star we've known for years too.
Yeah.
What is it about this cast that feels special? You've been on so many productions over the years, Jane. What is it about the Harry Wild cast that feels unique?
I mean, every time I come on set with somebody that's just been cast that I've never heard of, they literally blow me through the roof. I mean, I come in thinking, oh, I know what I'm doing, and then they just come in with amazing performances, and they lift my game. And that's exciting. It's like playing tennis with someone that's better than you, and you go, oh, okay, yes, we can return that serve, hopefully. But also, a lot of them are really young and new, and no one's seen them before, and they're magically good. And that young girl who plays my granddaughter, Rose O'Neill, she's never done anything.
She's great.
She's incredible. I mean, the first day, she didn't even know how to stand on a mark. I mean, she'd done commercials. And so I kind of saw what was going on, and the director looked at me like, what are we going to do? And I took her aside, and I kind of worked with her a bit, and she's phenomenal. I mean, Rohan keeps saying that he's learned stuff. And what they let me do, too, which is great, is they let me kind of almost, I'm not the director, but I kind of get hold of all the actors. And while they're setting it up, we all get together and we rehearse the living daylights out of it. We come up with all this cool stuff that we think would be good. And I have this little trick. When we've done a scene and the director says, yes, we've got it, that was great, now we're going to move on. If I feel there's something left in the tank, as in something else that actor could do that would be even better, not they haven't already done it perfectly, or myself, I ask for a freebie. And because we're not on film, and because it's not going to cost anybody anything other than another 3 minutes, if it's a long scene, we have this thing. So I tell the other actors, they don't know what a freebie means. And I said, that means you can do it upside down and backwards, whatever, just so long as you're somewhere where the camera can catch you. Okay, let's go. And then they go, really? We can do that? I go, yes, you've already got it, right? We don't have to repeat what we did. Let's just see if there's anything else there that we can find. And then it is so exciting because it's like opening night. We don't know, we know they know the lines, but we don't know how they're going to deliver them now or what extra stuff they're going to do. And so everyone's on their toes. And every time the freebies are the stuff that we end up watching.
I love that. As I mentioned earlier, you are also an executive producer. So what does it mean to have such a say and an active hand on both sides of the camera, Jane?
It's fantastic. I mean, there are all the egos are left at the door. I mean, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And what I do highly illegally, don't look at me for SAG. Well, we aren't SAG, so we don't have to worry. We get together with me on the weekend for some wine and some chat and some Chinese food. And we tend to go through all the material for the next week. And the writers are usually there, having the wine and champagne is what they like. And by the time we kind of finish working on everything, anything that we feel isn't quite working or we have queries about or whatever, we have that time together. So we really work on it. And we come up with cool ideas, and we're able to freely do it. So anyone in our character can say, ooh, Joe and Dave, what about, maybe Fergus would do this, or what do you think about that? So we have that time together. And because of the expense of doing this, we block shoot. So if those who don't know what block shooting is, for example, in the first series, we did 8 episodes. So 4 of them, the first 4, were shot by the same director of photography and first AD. But if it happened in my house, we would shoot in one day any one of 4 episodes. If it happened in the guard station, any one of 4 episodes. So, it's very confusing sometimes. We had the same script girl as well. So to do that and to wrap our heads around where we're at, where we've been, what's happening, it can be confusing. But we really put a lot more work into it than we are supposedly clocking in for.
Fair enough. So Acorn TV, this is already a very big, well-known in Ireland, England, across the pond. Now with the States, how are you noticing more eyeballs seeing it here in America, and how has that impression been from your perspective?
It's really exciting. People are just beginning to catch on. And now, when season 3 goes out, we're going to be on BBC America as well. And I think that would be a game changer because I think more people know about that. Whenever people say, well, where do I find Harry Wilde? I say, well, Amazon Prime. I mean, and then you get Acorn, and Acorn has a lot of really good, British and New Zealand, Australian kind of shows. But it's sold all over the world, if you know that.
So we can watch it anywhere?
Pretty much anywhere, because I have fans in Germany and France, and they actually really made a pilgrimage out to Ireland to be there when I was shooting.
Amazing.
I know. It's what's happened is the Dr. Quinn crowd that want Dr. Quinn back so badly have decided that they like Harry. So We've carried them along. And then the most crazy thing happened the other day. As a favor to some filmmakers, they were making this little movie called Irish Wish with Lindsay Lohan, and they needed someone to play the mother. And they said, oh, come on, Jane, please. And I said, I can't. I'm not there. And they said, where are you? I said, I'm in Dublin doing my show. And they said, we're in Dublin. So I end up doing 2 days on this thing, which ends up being the biggest thing ever, apparently, in Netflix. And the crazy part was they then did the logistics, the demographics. Why did they have such big numbers? They had rom-com, they had Lindsay fans, and then they had like a third of them were murder mystery. They said, why? We don't understand that. This is a rom-com. Why are murder mystery followers? And I said, Harry Wilde, that little secret thing that I do in Ireland.
I love that.
So that's what's happening. Hopefully the word will get out, and I'm looking forward to, doing lots of Harrys.
Well, Jane, you bring up Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, which you played for 6 beautiful seasons.
Yeah,
right?
I counted it as 7 because we did movies as well. But
Fair,
yes, 7 years worth.
But it's so funny, Jane. I have to tell you, I was telling my buddies that I was going to be interviewing Jane Seymour, and of course they were like Dr. Quinn, but a lot of them were like Kitty from Wedding Crashers. Like, you have so many different generation demographics to your claim to fame. Isn't that so crazy that
It's hilarious.
Lindsay Lohan's mom right now?
I know,
Netflix?
Lindsay Lohan's mom, on a cell phone. I didn't even play a single scene with Lindsay.
But so what do you enjoy? What are you enjoying most, though, about your career today that maybe you didn't enjoy in the same way in years past?
Well, now I get to play characters. I was really, honestly, I'm so grateful and so fortunate. But when I was younger, I played virgins until I was 40. Dr. Quinn was a virgin for a really long time. I mean, maybe she was 43. I don't know how long a virgin I was. They didn't have in vitro either. Anyway, no, I've had an amazing career. I mean, I got to, in the time of the miniseries, I did every miniseries. They called me Queen of the Miniseries at one point. But I mean, I played Maria Callas. I played, French Revolution. Marie Antoinette. I did that in 2 languages. We haven't even seen that here. It's an extraordinary thing. But I mean, I've had an amazing career. And then I went and did Wedding Crashers. And then he went, oh my God, she's funny. But the crazy part was, as you said, the director and producer were young, your age, and they'd never heard of me except for the James Bond film, the ubiquitous James Bond film. So they thought they had discovered me at 65. And what had I been doing since I was 20?
You were busy way before that.
Clearly waiting for it. But now I'm playing women with Alzheimer's. I've got a wonderful independent movie that's now coming out on the 7th on video on demand. It's in theatres at the moment, called Ruby's Choice, which I play a woman with Alzheimer's. It's a great movie. Again, you laugh and you cry and you weep and you learn, and it's a fantastic little movie, which finally has come here. And I just did a short. I've never done a short before. And that just opened a couple of days ago, opened the Beverly Hills Film Festival.
Congratulations.
And so I really feel now I can put the grey wig on and I can age all the way up to 80-something and, and play Harry and play lots of different things. I've never had more work in my life than I have right now.
That's exciting.
It's crazy, isn't
amazing, yes.
Thank you.
So you have been a staple in Hollywood and the international entertainment industry. So we have so many fellow creatives out here today. What advice do you have for them about emerging and getting themselves that impression within the entertainment industry today?
Well, I think, the beauty of today, the good side and the bad side is that you can pretty much make your own material and get it out there if you really want it seen. I mean, there is nothing stopping you using a very good iPhone, getting some people who have talent that want to be seen, writing it, making it in some form, and you could even get it up on YouTube and someone will go, wait a minute, what's that? I mean, I never imagined I would ever have to do Instagram and stuff like that, but my entire career right now seems to depend on me posting something every day. I mean, it's part of the job now. But I think I always say to people, write what you know. Start out with something you actually know or you have a passion for. And then surround yourself with people who are really good at whether it's cinematography or costumes or writing or direction or other amazing actors. There's a lot of talent out there that nobody's seen, and when we see them and they're famous and they're so great, you realize that they just were persistent, and invariably they went and did something themselves where they could be seen. They always say, well, we can't hire you because you're not known. Well, you make yourself known. I mean, there are people far more famous now than me just because they're on YouTube. Doing what? I don't know. I mean, dancing in weird ways with dogs and cats or whatever. I don't know what they're doing. But many other things too. But if you have a story to tell it. And find some people who are willing to do it with you. I worked on the last movie I just did. Don't tell Acorn, of course they're in the room. They paid me $200 a day, which is the SAG minimum for an actress to star in a short. Did you know that? Hairdresser got $500. My wig got $500. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but you have been known also for your other work beyond Hollywood too. You've had work with your jewelry company. You've had the beauty industry. How has social media maybe helped elevate to more people, even though you had a great fan base before this?
Well, I was always an artist. When I was a kid, I could have gone to art school, but I became an actress. I became an actress by default. I was a dancer originally, and since my parents couldn't afford pointe shoes and I was dancing with the Kirov Ballet at Covent Garden, the only thing I knew how to do was to knit and crochet. So I created clothing and sold them in Kensington Market and in South Molton Street to a shop called Brown. So I've always been designing and making things so that I could do the things that I love to do. And then after I got injured, I was at a ballet school that required that you did theatre as well. And I was in the chorus of Richard Attenborough's first movie, O What a Lovely War, and I was, third girl from the left. I had one line, got discovered by the top agent in England, and that was it. So I am not, a normal, it's not normal. But as you said, the Instagram thing, I also produce, I got the rights to a fantastic book called The Truth About Horses, which everyone now wants me to not just produce, but direct. So that's what I'm hoping to do next. And it looks like it can happen. I produced a lot of movies with my ex-husband. I did Glenn Campbell documentary, I'll Be Me. I did Walk the Line, for which I got no credit, but worked on that for 11 years. Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash gave me and James Keach the rights to their life story. I've but produced a lot of things. So I really love being behind the camera too. I even worked as an assistant director on a film once just to see what that was like.
Just because you had like a curiosity.
Well, I had a week off and they wouldn't let me go home and I didn't want to sit around. And they kept telling me every time I wanted something as an actress that they didn't have enough ADs. So I went to the AD office and said, here I am. I said, what do you mean? I said, well, I'll be an AD. I said, oh yeah, you're not going to be an AD. And it was raining, and it was, I remember what it was, The Awakening Land. And the first thing they had me do with the walkie-talkie, and I had the little, baseball hat on and everything, they wanted me to row the crew across the lake. They thought they got me there. I rowed them across, and I rowed them back. And I worked for 4 days, and I learned everything there is to know about behind the scenes on movies. So I know how hard it is to get actors out of the makeup trailer. I know how hard it is to get the sparks not to get drunk and noisy on the last night when you're working late nights on a Friday and some actresses demands another take. And I've been there, done it.
That's amazing. So Harry Wild, season 3, what is the outlook? Does this go for maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons? What's the game plan from your perspective, Jane? Oh, can you share something? You look like you have something to say. All right, blink twice if we get a season 4. Oh, amazing. Congratulations.
Yes. Where am I spending the summer this year?
Oh, we can wherever.
Possibly Ireland.
Oh, yeah, that sounds great.
Yes, it's a lovely place to be.
My last name's Conway. It's my family. I'll come join you.
Yeah.
But I'm curious.
Yeah.
So far into season 3, Harry Wild, such a dynamic, evolving character. If you, Jane, could say one thing to Harry Wild after embodying her and knowing her story so far, what would you say to her?
What would I say to her? Gosh, that's a tough one. I think Harry needs to allow love into her life. I think maybe there's a soft side to Harry, and maybe she dares try. I don't know. She never got married the first time. I think she's pretty independent, but I think she does enjoy people, and I think she probably might enjoy some form of romance.
I love that. Well, season 4, maybe some romance? We'll have to wait and see. Everybody make sure you tune in to find out. But
well, in season 3, there is another character that comes in that we really don't quite know who or what that's all about. And there's the definite element that Harry might find herself interested or attracted to somebody.
Very exciting. So on the flip side of that question, what would you, Jane, say to the Jane Seymour that was first getting into theater after everything you've achieved and accomplished up to now? What would you say to that young Jane that was up and coming trying to make a name for herself?
You are so lucky.
But you've worked hard. I know.
I know. I worked really hard. When they say, and also I always remember Laurence Olivier was, there are no small parts, just small actors. I am a better actress now today by far than I was in what would be considered the height of my career, I believe. But then maybe it's because I've had more life experience and I feel that I dare, try something different and really play these extraordinary characters. Whereas before, it was very much also, did I look good and stuff like that as well. Although, no, my career's not really been like that. I mean, I've played a lot of characters. I can't even believe, I started trying to write my autobiography the other day. And then someone said, oh, there's too many credits here. You can't talk about what you did in your work. Like, well, what am I going to talk about then? Salacious gossip? No, that's boring. No, I would say to young Jane, whose name was Joyce, oh my God, you have no idea what an incredibly rich and exhausting but exhilarating life you have ahead of you, and what you will learn from putting yourself in other people's circumstances and shoes, which is what you do as an actress.
I love that. Well, I want to give you all plenty of time to ask your questions to Jane. So does anybody have a question for Jane Seymour?
Yes.
Hi, Jane. I love the work that you've done in the series over the years, and I got the pleasure of working with you on Save Save the Sky once upon a time.
Oh!
Is there anything that you would say, like 1 to 3 things as an executive producer coming into this series that you said, I have to have this, or this has to happen, or this can't happen? Any life lessons in that sense?
I think I'm going to be a lot more hands-on this particular season. Also, because at one point they said, "Do you want to direct some?" And I went, "Oh, I'm not sure whether I can do that work." I don't know. I haven't seen the new scripts, so I don't know how much there is. But I'm definitely 100% going to be shadowing and learning that craft. That's what I intend to do. I'm also, working on projects. Harry related with Joe and Dave, and I'm excited about the amazing talent that we managed to find. I always get excited by the amazing casting that we get. We were told that we are the casting director said we are the show everyone wants to be on, which that really makes me excited, because I always wanted an environment where people would come, and whether they had 1 day or 3 days or one scene, they felt they were part of the whole. And it wasn't like, because I've been on series where I come in, do 1 day or 2 days, even after I've had my own series. And it is so lonely and so scary. And so I absolutely decided I was never going to let that happen if I ever did another series, and I'm not. I go into the makeup trailer first thing in the morning, and I go up to absolutely everybody, and I do this. Well, I'm now blowing it, but I say, I'm old, and I'm having trouble with my lines. Can you help me? Can we run them? That's how I get in there. And then, we'll help you out, little old lady. And then we run lines, and now I have an idea of what they're going to do. They have an idea of what I'm going to do. We then start talking about cats, dogs, horses, whatever it is we talk about, parents, whatever. And then we become this, we don't have time for rehearsal. So if I didn't do it with them, it wouldn't happen. And the fact that the director and the DP, we all work so well together, there's no kind of one person saying this is how it has to be. We work as a team, all of us, literally, seamlessly. And I think that's the magic. So everyone that comes in knows that they can do their best work, And also, we all know what we have time for and what we can and can't do financially. So, the important thing is we want it on the screen. And so everyone's prepared, everyone's ready. I did actually season 1, the first block of 4, the first 4 episodes, I had a broken kneecap, a smashed kneecap. So when I was watching that promo thing, I had to have a running double, a stunt double, and a walking double because I was on crutches. They had 3 people just to pull me down on the ground so that when I was thrown down, I'd be there already. And then my face would pop up, play the scene, and then he'd go, and then I'd put my face up again, and then camera goes somewhere else, and they're lifting me up. It was crazy. It's an insane job. It really is. But there's a lot of acting goes on behind the scenes as well. Just pretending that you're fit.
Any other questions for Jane? Yes, right in the middle.
How would you say the industry has changed from Live and Let Die today?
Oh, my goodness. When I did Live and Let Die, they made my underwear in triplicate in silk with, French lace or whatever, and we never even saw the underwear. And same with shoes and things. There was an enormous, huge set, huge crews. And I never really got to rehearse. The actual acting part seemed to be unimportant compared to what James Bond's the next stunt or the next thing was going to be, and they used to nickname me Baby Bernhardt because they thought I was actually acting in this thing, like Sarah Bernhardt, the famous actress from back in the day. So I think now everything has to work faster. I think because we don't have to wait, 2 days to find out whether we got it. With film, we would have to wait for, and then it would be taken off and processed somewhere and then sent back, and you'd watch the dailies, and then you'd maybe have to go back to that scene. How amazing it is that immediately after you've done it, you can actually watch it and see if what you did worked or didn't. And if it didn't, you know exactly what it was that didn't. And being digital, it's almost like free. So it's changed completely. Plus, editing is substantially faster. They edit while you're shooting, so you know what you have and haven't got. And obviously now, with special effects and things, if I want to be a 20-year-old Harry Wilde, they just flip a switch and I'm 20. Never mind those hours in makeup where I'm saying, can we just touch out that bag under my eye? Like, who cares?
Any other questions for Jane? Yes, right up there.
So lovely to have you here. Thank you for being here. I'm very curious about a script choice that was made. Clearly this is Irish, Ireland, or possibly European or British. But in the script it mentioned $1 million, currency of US. Why not euros or pounds?
Was that the boy band? Yeah, because they're an international boy band, like One Direction or something. And no one would care about euros. Dollars would be much more flashy, as in international.
Interesting. Good question. Any others for Jane? I'm actually curious in the meantime, too. Is there anything, Jane, that you don't tolerate now that you maybe did in the past within the industry and within sets and environments like that?
I don't tolerate people playing ego games at all. Anyone that won't come out of their trailer, I'd like them to take the trailer home. Bye. Either you want to come play with our party or you don't. I don't have time for any of that stuff. I don't do it myself. I never did. I never did it on Dr. Quinn. I was always first on set for 7 years. We used to call it the Sean Tuvey Award, because that little boy, he was always eager and ready to get out of school and run down to the set. And everyone else would be walking the dog, doing whatever else, having a chat, doing the crossword puzzle. Nobody cared as much. And so I used to make this joke of running, and I would run to the set to be first. And I just feel, there are so many millions of people that would dream of doing one day of the kind of work that I get to do, or anyone around me does. That I don't take it for granted at all. And so when I see people either try to phone it in, or they're drunk, or they're high, or they didn't learn the lines, or, they've got an attitude, there's no time for that anymore. I think back in the day, they wouldn't want there to be time for it, but it would be wasted time. Now it literally looks like money that's being burnt in front of you, and it's also destroying everyone else's amazing preparation and love of their craft. So there is no time for any of that nonsense anymore.
Beyond Harry Wild too, what are you enjoying about television programming today and video streaming that wasn't the same when Dr. Quinn came out?
Well, I mean, obviously I love watching things without commercials. And I love making movies that don't have to have commercials, because when we did Dr. Quinn, every so many minutes there'd have to be a moment and a close-up, and then you have to wait for the commercial, and then you come back out. So there was no rhythm, and the rhythm was always messed up. It's not that I'm against selling things, but sell it before, sell it after, but just not in the middle of it. And I love, long form as we used to have it. I love, if I have time, watching 2 or 3 hours worth of a show. If I'm really into it, that's exciting. It's like reading a novel. I mean, they don't say after 2 chapters you got to put it down. I want to watch all of it. And also when I did Dr. Quinn and all the other shows I was doing, I didn't have time to watch any television, and you always had to watch it when it came out, unless you somehow managed to figure out the recorder. And even then you had to find time to find it on the recorder to then watch it. It was just too complicated. So I love what we have now. I love the streaming channels. I like to watch a movie when I want to watch it, and I don't mind paying for it. I'll pay for an independent movie if it's good. If it didn't make it because, only the $500 million, mega movies make it into the theaters, I'm excited to watch something that's really good, that's an independent movie, or a television series like some of the ones on Acorn that you would never have heard of, that are hugely successful in England or in Europe or in Australia or New Zealand. Just look at what happens at the Oscars. It's never the big multi-million-dollar movies, ever. The movies that are in consideration are the little engines that could. They're the movies that everyone had said, no way, you're not making that movie. And those are the ones that win.
Yeah.
And look, how many Korean movies are there? Did we ever think we'd ever see or know anything about Korean culture? Yeah. And we do. I now have a Korean daughter-in-law, so I really know about Korean culture.
So lastly, if we head to Jane Seymour's house, what are we watching? The White Lotus? Are we watching Palm Royale? What's on your queue right now?
I think I'm watching Gentlemen in Moscow. We just finished Masters of the Air because my boyfriend's father was one of them in real life. I always watch The Crown, love The Crown. I started watching streaming when my kids kept talking about Breaking Bad, and I thought, why would I want to watch something about drugs? Why are they watching something about drugs? Why is anyone watching something? And then I got totally hooked, and on that. So, and I tend to forget what it is I've just seen. I watch it, love it, enjoy it, and then go to the next one. I mean, The Bear was good. What was it? Beef, that was really good. Squid Games, I remember.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm trying to remember. Better Call Saul. I tend to prefer watching streaming, I hate to say, than regular television, because I don't like having the material chopped up with, now you've got to go and buy this medicine that might kill you in 10 million more ways than you would take it in the first place. It puts me off.
Fair. Well, everyone add to your queue Harry Wild, because it gets really good in season 3. So congratulations to Jane Seymour. Thank you for joining us at SeriesFest. It's great to meet you. You're a legend, and we love you.
Well, I love what you're doing, and now that I know about you, I hope I can come back and be part of it again. And all of you filmmakers, anyone who's in the industry, never give up. Just never give up. And there is no role too small or no thing that you could work on that is too little. Trust me, it's the ones you do for nothing that end up being the ones that you're most proud of and move the dial. So, always think out of the box.
I love it. Thank you all for coming.